in determining our common future. Excellencies, as India begins its G20 presidency this year, it is natural that our aim is to amplify the voice of the global South. For our G20 presidency, we have picked the theme of One Earth, One Family, One Future. This is in line with our civilizational ethos. We believe the path to realize oneness is through human-centric development. People of Global South should no longer be excluded from the fruits of development. Together, we must attempt to redesign global political and financial governance. This can remove inequalities, enlarge opportunities, support growth, and spread progress and prosperity. Excellencies, to re-energize the world, we should together call for a global agenda of respond, recognize, respect, and reform. Respond to the priorities of the Global South by framing an inclusive and balanced international agenda. Recognize that the principle of common but differentiated responsibilities applies to all global challenges. Respect sovereignty of all nations, rule of law, and peaceful resolution of differences and disputes. And reform international institutions, including the United Nations, to make them more relevant. Excellencies, despite the challenges the developing world faces, I remain optimistic that for time is coming, and our time is coming. The need of the hour is to identify simple, scalable, and sustainable solutions that can transform our societies and economies. With such an approach, we shall overcome the difficult challenges, whether it is poverty, universal health care, or building human capacities. In the last century, we supported each other in our fight against foreign rule. We can do it again in this century to create a new world order that will ensure the welfare of our citizens. As far as India is concerned, your voice is India's voice. Your priorities are India's priorities. Over the next 2 days, this Voice of Global South Summit will have discussions on 8 priority areas. I am confident that together the global south can produce new and creative ideas. These ideas can form the basis of our voice in the G20 and other forums. In India, we have a prayer. Ano bhadraha kratavo yantu vishwatah. It means, may noble thoughts come to us from all directions of the universe. This Voice of Global South Summit is a collective effort for gaining noble ideas for our collective futures. Excellencies, I look forward to listening to your ideas and thoughts. I once again thank you for your participation. Thank you. Dhanyavad.
And you were just listening in as Prime Minister Narendra Modi was addressing the virtual Voice of the Global South Summit as part of this is part of the agenda of India's G20 presidency. The Prime Minister in his address spoke about the South, about the search for real resolutions to all the issues that the Global South faces at this point of time. And he said, let's move on now to stories that are coming in. Breaking news stories. The BJP has hit back at the Bihar Education Minister after the minister's insulting comment on the Ramcharitmanas written by Tulsidas, in which he had said that the Ramcharitmanas has spread hatred. The BJP has now hit back, saying that it's an insult to Hindus. Let's listen in to how the BJP hit back at the Bihar Education Minister.
This is not a sayog, this is a vote bank ka prayog, tushtikaran ka udyog. Just a few days ago, RJD leader, the Bihar president, Jagdanand Singh made comments about Ram Janmabhoomi being nafrat ki zameen. He made comments about Prabhu Shri Ram and Ram Mandir. And now we have Education Minister of Bihar from RJD making very controversial comments and saying Ramcharitmanas was a nafrat phailane wala granth, was a granth that was spreading hatred. This is not a coincidence, it is a conspiracy, it is a strategy. Abuse Hindu Astha for vote, abusing Hindu Astha, insulting Hindu Astha is equal to secularism. Hindu Astha par karo chot, milega vote bank ka vote. And therefore the entire ecosystem keeps attacking Hindu Astha. Somebody attacks saffron clothes, somebody says saffron terror, somebody says Hindutva is like ISIS Boko Haram, somebody questions the existence of Lord Ram, somebody says Ram Mandir should be not built at all. They oppose Ram Janmabhoomi, Bhumi Pujan. This is the kind of mindset some people have. This is the same RJD that eulogizes PFI and SIMI, comes out in their defense and says action should not be taken against them. It bats for these terrorist groups. Their top leaders have batted for these terrorist groups. But in Ramcharitmanas and Ram Janmabhoomi, they can see nafrat. Will action be taken on these statements?
देखिए, हमारा दुर्भाग्य रहा आज़ादी के लगातार बाद कुछ ऐसे लोगों को शिक्षा मंत्री बनाया गया जिन्होंने इस देश का इतिहास बदल दिया। आज उसी को हम भुगत रहे हैं और दुर्भाग्य है कि इस प्रकार के लोग बिहार के शिक्षा मंत्री के रूप में काम कर रहे हैं। उन सरकारों को इसके बारे में सोचना पड़ेगा जो कि नफ़रत की राजनीति खुद फैलाते हैं। राम हमारे लिए आदर्श हैं वो एक पिता के रूप में, पुत्र के रूप में, पति के रूप में, भाई के रूप में जिन्होंने अपने सारे किरदार को सामने रखा, वो हमारे लिए प्रेरणा स्रोत है। तो मुझे लगता है कि इस तरह की बातें करना ये जानबूझ करके एक नफरत फैलाने की राजनीति है।
प्रभु श्री राम के खिलाफ इस तरह की भावना भड़काने वाला काम तो आप कर रहे हैं और राजद के लोगों ने यही किया है। पिछले 27 साल में, 32 साल में बिहार में राजद ने सिर्फ जातियों में बांटा, लोगों को धर्मों में बांटा, और आज ये नया नया ज्ञान दे रहे हैं, तो नई पीढ़ी के लिए दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है।
So the BJP hits back at the controversial statement made by the Bihar Education Minister, and the BJP says that just a few days back the RJD chief of Bihar, Jagdanand, had made a similar comment, a comment along similar lines, and the BJP has said that this is vendetta politics, even as the Bihar minister had made a comment with regard to the Ramcharitmanas, one of the most revered books both historically and culturally. Well, let's listen in to more reactions coming in. Joining us is Shehzad Poonawalla of the BJP. Sir, we just heard your comment a short while back. Well, these are totally against what we have learned as a part of our culture, as a part of our tradition, as a part of history. Now we have the Bihar Education Minister speaking against the very revered book, the Ramcharitmanas by Tulsidas. Your reaction?
You know, it's ironical, but not very surprising that RJD eulogizes the PFI, eulogizes Sini, comes out in defense of these terror organizations, but it finds hatred in Ramcharitmanas. The same Ramcharitmanas that has inspired millions and millions of people across the world and is revered for its sacred text. They find Nafrat Ki Zameen in Ram Janmabhoomi. They find Char Diwari in Ram Mandir. This is an ecosystem which believes that abusing Hindu Astha equals to secularism, and therefore this is not a coincidence. Just 2-3 days ago, Jagdanand Singh made that comment, Nafrat Ki Zameen. He made despicable comments on Prabhu Shri Ram. Now they are targeting Ramcharitmanas. So this is a strategy, and if you see the entire ecosystem, Hussain Dalwai, he attacks Bhagwa Kapde. Then you have Rahul Gandhi, who has attacked Hindutva. You have Congress Party, which has attacked Prabhu Shri Ram's existence. They oppose Ram Mandir. So for the sake of vote bank, दो हिंदू आस्था को गाली ताकि मिले वोट बैंक की ताली is their standard operating procedure, and therefore these statements are not a coincidence, they are a part of a strategy. Now let us see if RJD takes action on them or whether RJD patronizes and protects the statement.
Well, many thanks, Mr. Poonawalla, for joining us there and for sharing your thoughts. So the BJP hits back, says this is vote bank politics. There's clearly no coincidence, as we have back-to-back comments made coming in from Bihar leaders. This time from the Bihar Education Minister. Earlier it was from the Bihar RJD chief, Jagdanand Singh, who had said that the Ram Janmabhoomi is Nafrat Ka Zameen. Now we are hearing the Bihar Education Minister speaking against the Ramcharitmanas of Tulsidas, saying that it is a book that spreads hatred. The BJP hitting out, saying that these are all attacks against Hindus. Let's take a look now at other top stories that we are tracking. In fresh trouble for Aam Aadmi Party leader Arvind Kejriwal and Chief Minister, a recovery notice of 164 crore rupees has been sent to Arvind Kejriwal, and he has been asked to pay the amount within 10 days. This relates to the fact that of misuse of misuse of ads meant for the government. Directorate of Information and Publicity's recovery notice. Directorate of Information and Publicity's recovery notice has been sent to AAP chief Arvind Kejriwal. The BJP has now come down heavily on the Aam Aadmi Party government, saying AAP uses taxpayers' money for personal gains. And amid the grim situation in Joshimath, Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami visits Joshimath to closely monitor the ground situation, announcing interim relief for the affected families. He has said the state government is with the people of Joshimath. After the brutal crackdown on protesting farmers by cops of the Nitish Kumar-led Bihar government, leader of the opposition in Bihar has condemned the attack, saying it is complete Gunda Raj in Bihar. Karnataka Home Minister, responding to the Mangaluru cooker blast, says Shariq's family members are under the ED radar. He further says transactions between Shariq and his family are being investigated. The Prime Minister to visit Karnataka's Hubli to participate in the National Youth Festival. More than 7,500 youth delegates from different parts to take part in the festival scheduled till the 16th of January.
संपूर्ण विधि विधान से यहाँ पर जो पूजा की गई और हम सब लोगों ने जो प्रार्थना की है, भगवान नरसिंह जी हमारे ऊपर कृपा करेंगे, हमारे जोशीमठ शहर पर कृपा करेंगे और जो ये आपदा आई है, ये आपदा ठीक हो जाएगी, शांत हो जाएगी और सभी को विश्वास करना चाहिए कि हमारा जोशीमठ शहर बचेगा। पूरे उत्तराखंड के अंदर जो जगह जगह तमाम प्रकार से इस प्रकार की बातें आई हैं कि पूरा उत्तराखंड खतरे में है, जोशीमठ शहर खतरे में है, भगवान नरसिंह जी की कृपा से हम इस सब से उभरेंगे। मैं सबको विश्वास दिलाता हूँ। भगवान
राहत पैकेज बढ़ेगा सर, राहत पैकेज बढ़ाएंगे आप लोग कैबिनेट की बैठक में?
हाँ, उस पर हम लोग पहले ही कह चुके हैं कि चूंकि आपदा आई है, आपदा आना एक प्राकृतिक आपदा है और किसी एक कारण से आपदा नहीं आई है जी, और उस पर भी बात चल रही है, लेकिन आगे हम प्लानिंग के साथ पूरे विधिवत तरीके से जो सबसे अच्छा पैकेज हो सकता है, जो सबसे अच्छा रास्ता हो सकता है, उस रास्ते को हम लोग अख्तियार करेंगे, यहाँ के लोगों की सहायता करेंगे। इस समय में हम हर तरीके से जोशीमठ के लोगों के साथ खड़े हैं, पूरी सरकार खड़ी है, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का भी हम सबको पूरा हर तरीके से सहयोग का उन्होंने भरोसा दिया है और सारी टीमें यहाँ पर लगी हुई हैं, वो अपना आकलन कर रही हैं। एनडीएमए की टीम भी यहाँ पर काम कर रही है, अनेकों जो हमारे वैज्ञानिक हैं वह भी काम कर रहे हैं। उसके आधार पर जल्दी सबका आकलन करके जल्दी यहाँ के लोगों
को बुलाया मिलने के लिए बुलाया सर, लोगों को बुलाया मिलने के लिए सर,
लगातार आज हमारी विभिन्न समूहों के साथ आज दिन में अनेक बैठकें होने वाली हैं। उन बैठकों में भी जो कल से लेकर मैं यहाँ पर हूँ, जो भी हमने यहाँ पर देखा है उन सभी को आगे ठीक से क्रियान्वित करें, ठीक से लोगों को सहायता करें, उस पर काम करें।
सर टैक्स देखने को मिले उसके
हाँ, वो पहले से ही है, उस पर हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं।
चल रहा है सर, काम चल रहा है सर, अभी भी कमेटी जो बनाई है, जो काम चल रहा है सर, आपके सख्त आदेश के बाद
अभी सभी चीजों का हम लोग में जो भी देखा है, जो आप लोगों के माध्यम से अन्य माध्यमों से हमें प्राप्त हुआ है, उन सभी के लिए ही आज बैठक बुलाई है।
Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami, he is in Joshimath, the sinking town that has always been known as the gateway to Badrinath, the holy town that's sinking because of land subsidence issues, and massive evacuation efforts have been on for quite some time now, being undertaken by the SDRF and the NDRF. And it's time now for a short break. News on the other side after West Bengal. Now Andhra Pradesh, the Vande Bharat Express is attacked in Visakhapatnam. And also coming up in other news, Delhi hit and run case in court today. Rouse Avenue Court to hear accused bail plea.
Step into luxury, where grace blends with grandeur and design blends with innovation. As your stress is washed away and you're transported in the lap of luxury. Cure European bath lounges. Let time wait.
I'm at the residence of Sudeep Singh, the Executive Director of the Food Corporation of India, where the raids as of now are being conducted. There is an unholy nexus between the officials of FCI and grain owners, and there is a rot in the system. The Central Bureau of Investigation is trying to uncover this rot and in the process trying to raid various locations in Delhi, Uttar Pradesh and Punjab.
The contractor has also not been named, sir, because you stated
you gentlemen, you are in a hurry. Yes, yesterday they have done. Wait for 24 hours.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर। एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान। जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं।
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए। प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान। उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा, बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त। मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है।
Jain community here in Hyderabad are taking out a massive rally. As you can see the visuals here, a massive rally being taken out by the Jain community, asking the central government to put a ban on the Jharkhand government's order to put Shamit Mukherjee as an ecotourism place. They will be moving ahead to the collector office, and also they will be submitting a memorandum to the collector, and also as you can see everyone here holding placards saying save Shamit Mukherjee.
I'm at the residence of Sudeep Singh, the Executive Director of the Food Corporation of India, where the raids as of now are being conducted. There is an unholy nexus between the officials of FCI and grain owners, and there is a rot in the system. The Central Bureau of Investigation is trying to uncover this rot and in the process trying to raid various locations in Delhi, Uttar Pradesh and Punjab.
Good morning and thank you very much for joining us on Live and Breaking on Republic TV. I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. We begin with a look at the top headlines we are tracking at 10:30 this morning. In fact, we're going to straight head to news that's just coming in now. We are bringing you live reports out of Joshimath, where the situation appears to be worsening. Now, do remember that we have seen a lot of new houses develop cracks over the past 2 days, and that's something that has been alarming authorities. There is a lot of demolition work that was supposed to take place, but due to the protests, that hasn't really gone forward. Pushkar Singh Dhami, the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, currently in Joshimath, he's been assessing the situation firsthand, trying to get a grip on what's really happening. Now, there has been a confrontation of sorts that's been brewing between the citizens there and the government, with the citizens unhappy with the kind of remuneration, at least, that has been provided for now by the government. The government, of course, on its part has been talking about the fact that action needs to be taken soon, and some demolitions that were supposed to take place need to go ahead in a prioritized manner, but that hasn't happened yet because of the opposition that we are seeing to this. The Chief Minister, of course, has assured citizens that he'll be able to resolve this soon. Let's go across to Anup, who's been reporting on this. Anuj has been getting us the details on this for a few days now. Anuj, the Chief Minister appears to be, hoping to be able to calm tempers over there. Now, he's been reassuring citizens that this is going to be resolved soon. But give us the latest in terms of the situation that is now worsening. We do know that rainfall was forecast, and that was one of the main concerns. Why authorities said the demolition needs to go ahead and go forward soon enough. But give us an overview of what's happening.
Well, at this point in time, let me tell you that since from yesterday, this is CM Dhami who is in Joshimath. So he's continuously monitoring the situation. On the other hand, let me tell you, he's continuously meeting the people and the administration also. So there they are planning that how to go ahead and looking deep into the angle that what exactly the situation on the ground is. Let me tell you that a minute before he just left from this very temple. This is a temple in Joshimath from where he has done the puja, and after performing the puja, he just left from this very nursing temple, and now he has headed toward ITBP campus he has headed toward. And let me tell you that this is going to be the meetings after meeting. Series of meetings is lined up for today also. There are representative of locals now who has decided to talk with the Chief Minister, and Chief Minister has given them the time. Now it is going to be the final discussion how the state government has decided to go ahead. And now if we talk about the compensation and the package that will be given to the people, if we talk about the locals, if we talk about the hotel owner, if we talk about the houses owner, then this is all going to be decided in that very meeting. The people were not satisfied earlier what was decided. So accordingly, now these meeting has been planned, the discussions has been done, and this is going to be the representative of the locals who is going to be there in that very meeting. DM is going to be there, all the top officials and the administration is going to be there at our ITBP campus. And now this is going to be the full and final meeting of the Chief Minister, where he is going to announce, he is going to decide that this is going to be the compensation and this is going to be the package. We do understand that the state has already decided for 45 crore rupee package for rehabilitation. So this is also going to be very, very important when we are talking about the rehabilitation. First priority of the government and the administration was to evacuate the place. So if we talk about the danger zone, that has been already evacuated. This is almost more than 700 families who has been already evacuated. 1,50,000 rupees is the amount which is given as an initial amount to the people, so that they can use that particular money, use that particular amount to relocate, because obviously they are relocating. So if they want to take their luggages to the certain places, whether to their relative or whether to the other places, that particular amount already has been promised to be given, and this is going to be the initial amount only. So finally this is going to be an important meeting, and CM will be flying at around 12 to Dehradun. Yes.
All right, Anuj, of course, is bringing us the latest in terms of the Chief Minister's program. Now, Anuj, for the moment, thank you for joining us. Anuj, of course, has also spoken to the Chief Minister, Pushkar Singh Dhami, about twice. This is the interview that we had with him, as well as the latest reaction that we are getting from him.
भगवान नरसिंह जी के स्थान पर यहाँ पर विधि विधान से पहले गौ पूजा की, गुरु पूजा की, उसके बाद भगवान नरसिंह जी की पूजा की है, प्रार्थना की है कि भगवान हमारे इस संकट के समय में, आपदा के समय में हम सब की रक्षा करें, और पूरी ब्राह्मणों के द्वारा संपूर्ण विधि विधान से यहाँ पर जो पूजा की गई और हम सब लोगों ने जो प्रार्थना की है, भगवान नरसिंह जी हमारे ऊपर कृपा करेंगे, हमारे जोशीमठ शहर पर कृपा करेंगे, और जो ये आपदा आई है, ये आपदा ठीक हो जाएगी, शांत हो जाएगी, और सभी को विश्वास करना चाहिए कि हमारा जोशीमठ शहर बचेगा। पूरे उत्तराखंड के अंदर जो जगह जगह तमाम प्रकार से इस प्रकार की बातें आई हैं कि पूरा उत्तराखंड खतरे में है, जोशीमठ शहर खतरे में है, भगवान नरसिंह जी की कृपा से हम इस सब से उभरेंगे। मैं सबको विश्वास दिलाता हूं, भगवान हम सबको।
मेरी कर्मस्थली भी रही है, मैं यहाँ प्रधानाचार्य रहा हूँ, और जोशीमठ सांस्कृतिक धार्मिक दृष्टि से देखा जाए और सामरिक दृष्टि से देखा जाए तो बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। आज जो वर्तमान में परिस्थितियां हैं वो आपने देख ही लिया है कि लगभग 81 परिवार ऐसे हैं जिनको दूसरे स्थानों पर शिफ्ट किया गया है और सर्वेक्षण का काम लगातार चल रहा है। जिन मकानों पर दरारें पड़ी हुई हैं उनको भी चिन्हित किया जा रहा है। जहां ऐसा लगता है कि ये खतरे से खाली नहीं है उन पे क्रॉस चिन्ह लाल लगा करके उनको अन्यत्र स्थापित किया जा रहा है। उन परिवारों को गेस्ट हाउस में और विभिन्न स्थानों पर अभी किया गया है। लोगों को तत्काल प्रभाव से जो मुआवजा देना है उनको उनकी यातायात सामान शिफ्ट करने के लिए जो भी है वो सब गवर्नमेंट कर रही है। आज ही हमारे सचिव ने यहाँ पर प्रेस भी किया होकर बताया भी। वो दो जो बड़े होटल्स हैं जो बिल्कुल ऐसी स्थिति में हैं उसके नीचे बहुत सारे मकान हैं और वो नीचे के मकानों का कि जो लोगों का स्थिति यह है कि वो कहते हैं यदि ये इनको व्यवस्थित, क्योंकि उन्होंने अब टूटना ही है, ऐसी परिस्थिति में आ गए वो होटल। तो लेकिन वो यदि उनको व्यवस्थित नहीं तोड़ा गया तो बहुत सारी क्षति नीचे करेंगे और जो नीचे के मकान है उनको इस बात की चिंता है, स्वाभाविक भी है। इसलिए उनके मन में ये रहा होगा कि हमको कैसे मुआवजा दिया जाए, उस पे भी अधिकारी बात कर रहे हैं, चर्चा कर रहे हैं, उसका समाधान निकल जाएगा। अभी कुल मिलाकर के इस आपदा से हम लोग कैसे करके ऊपर उभरें, मेरा सब लोगों से भी ये अपील है कि इस वक्त में सब मिलकर के हम लोगों ने इस आपदा से ऊपर उठना है, एक दूसरे की मदद करनी। गवर्नमेंट, भारत सरकार से प्रधानमंत्री जी तो स्वयं ही रुचि लेकर के, क्योंकि ये स्थान, ये क्षेत्र तो उनके लिए हमेशा से ही बहुत आत्मीयता का रहा है। प्रधानमंत्री जी हिमालय से आगत उनका रिश्ता है, तो जब भी हिमालय में, मेरे उत्तराखंड में कभी भी कुछ बात होती है तो सबसे पहले प्रधानमंत्री जी संज्ञान लेते हैं। तो ये हमारा सौभाग्य है और वो लगातार नजर रखे हैं। मुख्यमंत्री लगातार मीटिंग भी कर रहे हैं, आ भी रहे हैं, यहाँ हमारे सारे अफसर्स भी हैं, बहुत जल्दी इनका समाधान करेंगे।
एक सेंट्रल बिल्डिंग रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट रुड़की की टीम ने जो 2 होटल के भवन हैं जिनको अनसेफ करार दिया और उनकी डिसमेंटलिंग की प्रोसेस जो हमें एक सेफ और साइंटिफिक तरीके से करनी है, तो उसमें कुछ लोगों के साथ आज चर्चा की गई और एक चर्चा सकारात्मक रही। उनके द्वारा कुछ ऐसी मांगे रखी गई रिहेबिलिटेशन को लेकर, रीसेटलमेंट को लेकर, और वो डिफरेंट तरीके की मांगे हैं। किसी का मत है कि हमें मॉनेटरी पैकेज दिया जाए, किसी का मत है कि हमें किसी जगह पर रीसेटल किया जाए, किसी को कहीं पर होटल के लिए, जैसे किसी का होटल था तो होटल बनाने के लिए जमीन दी जाए। तो सभी से इसमें चर्चा हमने करी है और सभी को अवगत भी कराया है कि कोई भी रिहेबिलिटेशन पैकेज है उसको तैयार करने के लिए सभी स्टेक होल्डर्स, सभी लोकल लोगों से चर्चा करके एक इंटीग्रेटेड पैकेज हम बनाएंगे और वो प्रोसेस हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं जल्द से जल्द, जो डिस्कशन का प्रोसेस है जल्द से जल्द पूरा हो ताकि हम एक रिहेबिलिटेशन पैकेज की तरफ पहुंच सकें।
Are these people satisfied, sir? अभी satisfactory हो गया?
ओवरऑल टोन जो थी डिस्कशन की वो पॉजिटिव थी और कुछ उनके द्वारा मांगे रखी गई हैं, कुछ उनके द्वारा बातें भी बताई गई, कुछ पॉइंट्स भी हमने क्लियर किए हैं। तो हम होप कर रहे हैं कि हम ये प्रोसेस को, हम जो डिसमेंटलिंग का प्रोसेस है, जो हमें आसपास के लोगों की सेफ्टी को देखते हुए हमें किया जाना आवश्यक है, बिकॉज जो 2 बिल्डिंग्स में क्रैक्स है उनको देखते हुए और जो नीचे भी लोकेलिटी है उनके ऊपर जो रिस्क मंडरा रहा है उसको देखते हुए, तो हम होप कर रहे हैं कि अब ये प्रोसेस हम शुरू कर पाएंगे।
सर, टोटल इफेक्टेड एरिया कितना है, कितने जोन्स में बांटा गया है और स्ट्रैटेजी क्या है उसकी?
हमने 4 वार्ड्स में अनसेफ एरियाज हमने डिक्लेयर किए हैं अंडर डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट और इन एरियाज में करीब 86 भवन है, 86 स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं। इसके अलावा भी कुछ स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं बट वो क्लस्टर में नहीं है, कोई आइसोलेटेड स्ट्रक्चर है जहां पर क्रैक्स आए हैं। तो इसमें से हमने करीब 131 परिवारों को अभी अस्थायी रूप से हमने होटल, धर्मशाला, गुरुद्वारे में हमने विस्थापित किया है। सभी हम रिलीफ सपोर्ट उनको प्रोवाइड कर रहे हैं। हमारी टीम लगातार दौरे कर रही है, जो लोकल जनप्रतिनिधि हैं, वार्ड मेंबर्स हैं, नगर पालिका के वार्ड मेंबर्स हैं, उनसे हम वार्ता कर रहे हैं। कोई भी कहीं पर भी कोई कमी परिलक्षित हो रही है, कोई भी शॉर्टकमिंग है, तत्काल उसका हम निराकरण कर रहे हैं।
You are watching Republic TV. We slip into a very short break. On the other side, we're bringing you more news, so stay with us. And here's what's coming up. The Bihar Education Minister insults Hindu, says Ramcharitmanas spreads hatred. Big controversy breaks out over the Bihar Education Minister's Hindu insult. We get you details.
Step into luxury, where grace blends with grandeur and design blends with innovation. as your stress is washed away and you're transported in the lap of luxury. Cure European bath lounges. Let time wait.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर। एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान। जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं।
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए। प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान। उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा, बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त। मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है।
And here's a look at what else is making news this morning. In an interview to the RSS mouthpiece organizer and the Panchjanya, Mohan Bhagwat has said that Muslims have nothing to fear in India, but they must abandon their boisterous rhetoric of supremacy. While responding to Bhagwat's interview, the AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi said that Bhagwat must not preach, and it is Bhagwat who is furthering the Hindu supremacist narrative.
हिटलर को भी बड़ा अपना यकीन था अपनी आर्यन रेस सुपरमेसी का, और इसीलिए आप देखते हैं कि आरएसएस जो है शुरू से इस बात का डिमांड कर रही है कि भारत में जो फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर है इस कंट्री का, उसको खत्म कर दिया जाए।
The former Minority Affairs Minister and senior BJP leader Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi has hailed the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat's remarks on Muslims and said the spirit of partnership and not the battle to dominate leads to the path of development.
इस देश में आप दुनिया में रहने वाले 10 मुसलमानों में से एक मुसलमान हिंदुस्तान में रहता है। उसके सामाजिक, आर्थिक, शैक्षणिक, धार्मिक अधिकार पूरी तरह से महफूज भी हैं और मजबूत भी हैं, सुरक्षित भी हैं और सिक्योर्ड भी हैं। लेकिन वो दिक्कत मुसलमानों की नहीं है, दिक्कत
Well, there is a fresh face-off over the midday meal in Bengal. The BJP has hit out and alleged that the funds for the central government's midday meal or the Prime Minister portion have been diverted by the Mamata Banerjee government and called it the biggest financial scam in the state. Now, this comes at a time when recently at least 24 students fell ill after consuming a midday meal that reportedly had a snake in it. So the BJP over there alleging that there has been a misappropriation of funds, and this is perhaps the biggest financial scam in the case. Let's go across to Kishale, who joins us from our Bangla. Kishale, give us more details to begin with of the scam and also of how the BJP has alleged financial misappropriation.
Well, exactly, Nupur. What we see are quite disturbing images where we see that there is a snake inside the meal cooked for children, especially for the children who are eating in the midday meal program in schools in West Bengal. Now, after this has happened, there has been politics and furor over this whole incident, because this is not the first time and not the last time. Just before and after this incident, there
All right, this appears to be some audio disturbance over there with Kishale. We'll try and get him back. But just to tell our viewers about the pictures that you see on your screen. These are pictures of the midday meal that was served to these students, and you can of course see clearly that there was a snake present in this. After this, about 30 children fell ill. Amit Malviya on the phone line with us. Mr. Malviya, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Malviya, you have alleged that there is a huge financial misappropriation of funds from the Prime Minister's PM Poshak scheme. Tell us more about this. Though, of course, the country looking at these pictures will be extremely shocked of what's happening, because about 30 children fell ill, some of them very seriously, after consuming this midday meal in a school in Bengal.
Well, the truth of Bengal administration is that funds meant for central government programs
like the midday meal or the portion program as it is called, is being diverted towards other administrative expenditure of the state government. And therefore, it leaves very little amount for the purpose that it is intended for. And that is why you have contractors who are cutting corners, not taking adequate care of the food that is being prepared. The distribution is questionable, and eventually the students suffer. Either they do not get the requisite amount of nourishment, or you have instances like finding snakes and lizards in these midday meals because adequate precautions are not being taken. Everything costs money. The central government is giving the money to the state government, but the state government is misutilizing it. The leader of opposition in West Bengal, Suvendu Adhikari, has written a letter to the education minister highlighting these discrepancies and this misappropriation. And it is for the concerned department to do an audit of the spending of the central government funds in West Bengal. And this is not the only instance. We've had Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, which is questionable. Audits are going on. We've had Pradhan Mantri the Narendra scheme, which is there. That too is under audit. So misappropriation of funds from various schemes towards administrative expenses of the West Bengal government is a norm in Bengal, and it is being questioned at all levels. Audits are going on. The matters are in the court and have been challenged. There's a lot that Mamata Banerjee needs to really answer here.
Mr. Malviya, appreciate you speaking to us on Republic TV. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to go back to Kishle on that now. Kishle, you just heard the BJP over there talk about the fact that they believe there are financial irregularities, there is misappropriation of funds. Now, has the West Bengal government responded to this so far? And in terms of an audit of what really happened in this particular incident, what has come forward?
Well, exactly. BJP is alleging that this is misappropriation of funds, and the funds for this particular purpose are being used by TMC leaders and TMC workers. That's what they are saying. However, as you are asking that what has been the steps, what has been the auditing process after this particular incident, well, there were officials from the primary education department who visited that particular area, Moyureshwar, and they tried to understand that what was happening, and one of the officials also had that midday meal with the children, with the students, but the damage had been done. I'll try to show you one particular visual, and this is particularly from Malda Chachol, yesterday's visual. I'll request my video journalist to zoom on this visual, and you can see that this is from Malda Chachol, and the parents and guardians are agitating because they found rats and lizards in the midday meal containers. You can see they are agitating. The parents and guardians, they are agitating because they found rats and lizards in the midday meal.
Right, we can see those pictures, Kishle. Now, Kishle, as you're pointing out, of course, this particular instance took place just yesterday. Is that what you're saying?
You can understand, Nupur, that yes, Nupur, this is not just one case of Birbhum Moyureshwar. What I just showed you from my mobile device, because we are receiving visuals as we speak. The one I showed you is from yesterday. This is a different place. This is Malda Chachol. And this particular place, what happened was the guardian, the parents, when they went to the school, they opened the containers and they found rats and lizards in the containers for rice, for dal. Previously, what happened in Birbhum was a snake in the cooked meal. And what I showed you in my phone was that they found rats and lizards in the containers, dead ones. Therefore, the question that's coming up is very valid, that what is the officials doing who are supposed to take care of these midday meals? The BJP is asking these questions, the opposition is asking these questions, but it seems to be valid because the government needs to take care of the children who are being fed these food as midday meal in different schools. They are in hospitals. So that's what is happening here in West Bengal, and questions are being asked. Nupur.
Now, any response that is coming in either from the education department or from other concerned ministries on what is going wrong?
Not yet, Nupur. We did not get any official statement from the education department as such, or from the education minister as such. However, the officials on ground who are going on behalf of the government, especially the primary education department officials, they are speaking up. They are saying that these things should not be done, these things should not happen, and we are taking care of it. One of them also had that same food next day, which was cooked at that particular place. He said that we have sanitized the area, we have removed whatever was there, and we have fully reinstalled everything that was there, including the raw materials. So the officials on the ground level are speaking up. They are trying to defend the whole situation. However, there is no official statement from the education ministry or department as such of the government of West Bengal, and the education minister has not spoken up yet.
All right, Kishale, bringing us those details on the story that's coming in from West Bengal. Thank you very much for joining us. So, no response yet from Mamata Banerjee's government or the education department on the contamination of the food that was provided in the midday meal scheme by the government of West Bengal. Now, we are told that an audit is being conducted. You are with Republic TV. On the other side, after West Bengal, now Andhra Pradesh, the Vande Bharat Express is attacked in Visakhapatnam. And the Delhi hit and run case is in court today. The Rouse Avenue court will hear the accused's bail plea. And here's a look at what else is making news this morning. In an interview to the RSS mouthpiece organizer and the Panchjanya, Mohan Bhagwat has said that Muslims have nothing to fear in India, but they must abandon their boisterous rhetoric of supremacy. While responding to Bhagwat's interview, the AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi said that Bhagwat must not preach, and it is Bhagwat who is furthering the Hindu supremacist narrative.
हिटलर को भी बड़ा अपना यकीन था अपनी आर्यन रेस और सुपरमेसी का, और इसीलिए आप देखते हैं कि आरएसएस जो है शुरू से इस बात का डिमांड कर रही है कि भारत में जो फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर है इस कंट्री का, उसको खत्म कर दिया जाए.
The former Minority Affairs Minister and senior BJP leader Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi has hailed the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat's remarks on Muslims and said the spirit of partnership and not the battle to dominate leads to the path of development.
इस देश में आप दुनिया में रहने वाले 10 मुसलमानों में से एक मुसलमान हिंदुस्तान में रहता है. उसके सामाजिक, आर्थिक, शैक्षणिक, धार्मिक अधिकार पूरी तरह से महफूज भी हैं और मजबूत भी हैं, सुरक्षित भी हैं और सिक्योर्ड भी हैं. लेकिन वो दिक्कत मुसलमानों की नहीं है, दिक्कत मुस्लिम वोटों के ठेकेदारों और जागीरदारों की है. क्योंकि मुस्लिम वोटों के ठेकेदारों और जागीरदारों की जो जागीरदारी और ठेकेदारी है वो पूरी तरह से हिली हुई है.
The Air India P-Gate accused Shankar Mishra has said that his bail applications stated that he was unaware of the incident, that he urinated on a 70-year-old woman passenger allegedly, while adding that he was forced to speak to the victim by the crew and that he felt the matter was settled. He also calls his arrest illegal while questioning the Delhi police and called the episode a media trial. The Delhi court has rejected the order on the bail plea of Shankar Mishra, accused of urinating on a woman co-passenger on the Air India flight. The Delhi police challenged a magisterial court's order of the 7th of January denying the custody of Shankar Mishra, accused of urinating on a woman co-passenger in an Air India flight. CCTV images and videos from Buxar have showed policemen storming into the homes of farmers and beating them up while they were asleep. Videos show that every woman, even women, weren't spared by the police inside homes. Now, these are farmers who were staging a protest for over 2 months over land acquisition for a state-run power firm and were demanding better rates from the government. When questioned on the farmers' protest and police brutality, the Bihar Deputy Chief Minister
नहीं उसके खिलाफ है।
मेरी बात सुन लीजिए ना, रामचरितमानस हो या मनुस्मृति हो या गोवलकर का बंच ऑफ थॉट हो, इसमें जातियों के खिलाफ जो विसंगति का अंश है उसको काट के हटाना चाहिए।
अगला सवाल है कि बिहार में जातीय जनगणना हो रही है, आपके नेता नीतीश कुमार और तेजस्वी यादव जाति गिनवा रहे हैं, पूरे सबके घर में जाति गिनने के लिए आएंगे लोग। आप बोल रहे हैं जाति व्यवस्था खत्म होनी चाहिए, तो आप जाति क्यों गिनवा रहे हैं? जाति क्यों गिनवा रहे हैं?
मेरी बात सुनिए, मैं मजबूत कंधे वाले से कहना चाहता हूं कि जातियों के नाम पर जो हजारों साल से दमित है, पीड़ित है, शोषित है, उसके उत्थान का अवसर कब होगा? मजबूत कंधे वाले, अगर ऐसा नहीं होता तो आचार्य नरेंद्र देव जी उच्च श्रेणी के कुलीन पंडित में पैदा होकर के समाजवाद नहीं करते। आचार्य जेबी कृपलानी साहब उसके अनुयायी नहीं होते। आचार्य डॉक्टर लोहिया जी वो भी ऊंचे कुल में पैदा हुए। गरीबों की बात क्यों किए, वंचितों की बात?
जाति गणना ठीक है, जाति
आपको सुनने का धीरज नहीं है? आप तो पूरी बात सुन लीजिए ना। एक फहरिस्त है, लंबी फहरिस्त। जिसको देश की चिंता है वो सबकी चिंता करेगा, जो सबकी चिंता करेगा 90 को काटेगा नहीं। इसलिए 100 में 90 लोग अगर वंचित आज भी है, आज भी जीतन राम मांझी मुख्यमंत्री, आपको हिम्मत है तो चलाइए, मैं नहीं समझता हूँ आपको हिम्मत है। जीतन राम मांझी मुख्यमंत्री बनकर के मधुबनी के दुर्गा मंदिर में गए पूजा करने, किसने उसको गंगा जल से धोया? वही मेरे जी काटने का फतवा जारी करते हैं।
नहीं, लेकिन आप समाजवाद की बात करते हैं, 35 साल समाजवादियों की सरकार रही, तो क्या आपको नहीं लगता कि समाजवादियों ने उत्थान नहीं किया पिछड़ी जातियों का? अगर उसी का
आप कहना क्या चाहते हैं? आप मनुवाद सीख करके आए हैं, यही हमसे बोलवा चाहते हैं?
मनुवादी
मैं यह कह रहा हूँ कि आज के तारीख में 6 साल नहीं हुआ है।
आप 2 तारा की बात कर रहे हैं साहब। आप मनुस्मृति में जाति व्यवस्था के खिलाफ बात कर रहे हैं, फिर जातीय जनगणना करा रहे हैं।
पढ़ कर क्या है? आप भी जी काटने वाले लोगों में से हैं। मैंने भी जी काटने वाले लोग पक्का है। आप बात, मेरी बात धीरज है तो बात सुन।
आप सत्ता में आके, सत्ता में रहकर आप, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि कुछ भी बोलकर निकल जाइएगा।
सत्ता में आ रहे हैं तो समानता की बात करने के लिए जातीय जनगणना की जा रही है। जो हजारों साल से काट के रखे गए हैं उनको सम्मान कब मिलेगा? और मजबूत कंधे वाले आप आगे आओ। अगर देश को बचाना चाहते हो, देश को ताकत बढ़ाना चाहते हो, तो आप निश्चित रूप से ये ज्ञान की भूमि बिहार है, ये दर्शन का काम करेगा।
तो क्या आखिरी सवाल ये कि क्या ग्रंथ को जला?
अब नहीं, आप लोग आती।
तो ये थे चंद्रशेखर, जो कि दो तरह की बात कर रहे हैं यहाँ पर, और जातीय जनगणना की भी बात करते हैं और मनुस्मृति की भी बात कर रहे हैं। ये अपने बात पर अडिग हैं कि वर्ण व्यवस्था के खिलाफ हैं और जो मनुस्मृति में नफरत का ग्रंथ की संज्ञा दे रहे हैं। ये बैक टू यू।
Absolutely. Prakash, of course, joining us right now on the broadcast. Prakash, good morning. Prakash, the Bihar Education Minister, of course, has set off a cat amongst the pigeons, really. I mean, that's a controversial comment that he could have desisted from making. Oh, okay, I don't think we've got Prakash with us, but... All right, we are going to get him back in just a bit, but it was a very controversial comment that came in from the Bihar Education Minister as he insulted Hindus, saying that Ramcharitmanas spreads hatred amongst people. Also, when confronted by Republic TV, trying to essentially be able to cover that row, but obviously it's something that he will have to respond upon. I'm going to try and go back to Prakash in just a bit to give us more details in terms of whether you know, he is going to be able to get out of this or not. But let's listen into a reaction that we are getting in from the BJP, which obviously has hit out at the Bihar Education Minister.
सहयोग, this is a vote bank का प्रयोग, तुष्टिकरण का उद्योग. Just a few days ago, RJD leader, the Bihar president, Jagdanand Singh, made comments about Ram Janmabhoomi being nafrat ki zameen. He made comments about Prabhu Shri Ram and Ram Mandir. And now we have Education Minister of Bihar from RJD making very controversial comments and saying Ramcharitmanas was a nafrat phailane wala granth, was a granth that was spreading hatred. This is not a coincidence. It is a conspiracy. It is a strategy. Abuse Hindu Astha for vote. Abusing Hindu Astha, insulting Hindu Astha is equal to secularism. Hindu Astha par karo chot, milega vote bank ka vote. And therefore the entire ecosystem keeps attacking Hindu Astha. Somebody attacks saffron clothes. Somebody says saffron terror. Somebody says Hindutva is like ISIS, Boko Haram. Somebody questions the existence of Lord Ram. Somebody says Ram Mandir should be not built at all. They oppose Ram Janmabhoomi, Bhumi Pujan. This is the kind of mindset some people have. This is the same RJD that eulogizes PFI and SIMI, comes out in their defense and says action should not be taken against them. It bats for these terrorist groups. Their top leaders have batted for these terrorist groups. But in Ramcharitmanas and Ram Janmabhoomi, they can see nafrat. Will action be taken on these statements?
Well, even as the BJP, of course, is attacking the RJD minister over the comments that he made, the minister himself has remained defiant over what he said. Let's listen.
आपने रामचरितमानस को एक नफरत,
आप अपनी बात को फिर से सुधारिए। आप विवादास्पद आप कह रहे हैं, मैं कहाँ कह रहा हूँ?
नफरत का ग्रंथ आपने
मैंने नफरत का ग्रंथ नहीं कहा, नफरत का अंश कहा है। उस ग्रंथ में नफरत के अंश हैं। उत्तरकांड में लिखा हुआ है, अधम जात में विद्या पाए भयहु जथा ही दूध पिलाए। आप बताओ इसका क्या अर्थ है? कभी पढ़े हैं?
मैं तो नहीं पढ़ा, मैं तो नहीं पढ़ा, आप पढ़े हैं।
वही लोग बहस में लगे हुए हैं। जो पढ़ेंगे सब।
हम विवाद नहीं कर रहे हैं, साधु संत लोग बोल रहे हैं कि अपमानजनक है। मैंने तो नहीं पढ़ा है रामचरित, मैं ऑनेस्टली आपको बता रहा हूँ। आप पढ़े, मुझे याद है कल आप भाषण में दोहा में काफी बता रहे थे। लेकिन रामचरितमानस एक सेक्रेड ग्रंथ है, जैसा कि हिंदू धर्म के लोग मानते हैं, और संत लोग आपका विरोध कर रहे हैं इस बात को लेकर। भाजपा वाले भी विरोध कर रहे हैं।
संत लोग विरोध नहीं कर रहे हैं। संतों की पृष्ठभूमि देखिए किस बात की वो लोग विरोध कर रहे होंगे। कौन लोग हैं वो? क्या वो संत रैदास है? क्या वो संत पासवान है? क्या वो संत गुप्ता है? आप देखिए, क्या वो संत चौधरी है? क्या वो संत जायसवाल है? क्या वो संत शर्मा है? मतलब शर्मा जो मेरा ये कहना है कि जो भी मैंने बात कही है संपूर्ण ग्रंथ पर टिप्पणी नहीं है, ग्रंथ के उस अंश पर टिप्पणी है जो संपूर्ण 85-90% लोगों को शिक्षा से वंचित करता है। आज मोहन भागवत जी नागपुर से फतवा देते हैं कि शिक्षा से अहंकार बढ़ता है। क्या आपने देखा? आपने पढ़ा? ये बहस का मुद्दा बना।
रामचरितमानस को आप किस रूप में लेते हैं? आप ये बताइए।
मैं रामचरितमानस के उत्तरकांड के उस अंश को का विरोध करता हूँ जिसमें लिखा हुआ है धम जात में विद्या पाए भयहु जथा ही दूध पिलाए। मैं रामचरितमानस के उस अंश को लेता हूँ जिसमें लिखा हुआ जे बरनाधम तेली कुम्हारा सपच की रात कोल कलवारा। बरन में नीच कौन कौन है? पहला नाम तेली का दिया है भैया। तेली, कहार, कुम्हार, कोल, कलवार, आदिवासी, दलित पराधीन सारे वंचितों को कहा है। और मनुस्मृति का दहन क्यों किए बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर? बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर भारत भूमि के प्रथम छात्र हुए। ईश्वर किसी जाति के दास नहीं हैं। अगर जाति के दास होते, प्रभु परमात्मा जाति के दास होते, मालिक खुदा किसी जाति के दास होते, तब रूढ़िवादियों द्वारा, दकियानुसी विचारों द्वारा, यथास्थितिवादियों द्वारा बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर को वंचित समाज में पैदा किया गया। और जब वंचित समाज में पैदा हुए, वो लिखे हैं कि मैं किस जाति में पैदा हुआ हूँ उस पर मेरा अख्तियार नहीं है हिंदू व्यवस्था में, लेकिन मैं क्या स्वीकार करूंगा उस पर मेरा अख्तियार है। इसलिए भगवान बुद्ध जी को
क्या चाहते हैं कि जैसे
भगवान बुद्ध जी को स्वीकार, सुन तो लीजिए ना, क्योंकि आप भी मनुवाद लेके आए होंगे, सुनिएगा नहीं?
मनुवादी नहीं हूँ।
जी, आप मेरी बात सुन लीजिए। तो ये जो भारत भूमि के प्रथम छात्र जो अमेरिका के कोलंबिया विश्वविद्यालय पढ़ने गए, दूसरे लोग क्यों नहीं गए? एक से एक फतवा जारी करने वाले क्यों नहीं गए? जी काटने वाले क्यों नहीं गए? प्रथम छात्र जो लंदन स्कूल ऑफ
इकोनॉमिक्स कल भाषण में मैं सुन चुका हूं कि कोलंबिया यूनिवर्सिटी गए, जो
तो सुन लीजिए ना,
यूएस का बहुत बड़ा यूनिवर्सिटी है। ये बताइए कि
में क्या दिक्कत है?
मनुस्मृति और रामचरितमानस को जैसे कि बाबा साहब अम्बेडकर जी ने तिरस्कार किया, जलाया, तो क्या आप भी आग्रह करते हैं, आह्वान करते हैं सब लोगों से कि उसको तिरस्कार और जलाना चाहिए?
हूँ कि भगवान राम जी को सबरी का जूठ बैर क्यों खाना पड़ा? आप बात समझिए। भगवान किस जी को सुप्पन भगत डोम के यहाँ क्यों खाना पड़ा? ये दर्शन है कि जो अंश है जाति के नाम पर विषमता का, नफरत का, उस अंश को हटाओ।
मतलब आप रामचरितमानस या मनुस्मृति में जो जाति व्यवस्था और वर्ण व्यवस्था के बारे में लिखा गया उसके खिलाफ हैं आप?
जी,
उसके खिलाफ है?
मैं सीधी बात करता हूँ कि
नहीं, उसके खिलाफ है।
मेरी बात सुन लीजिए ना। रामचरितमानस हो या मनुस्मृति हो या गोवलकर का बंच ऑफ थॉट हो, इसमें जातियों के खिलाफ जो विसंगति का अंश है उसको काट के हटाना चाहिए।
अगला सवाल है कि बिहार में जातीय जनगणना हो रही है। आपके नेता नीतीश कुमार और तेजस्वी यादव जाति गिनवा रहे हैं, पूरे सबके घर में जाति गिनने के लिए आएंगे लोग। आप बोल रहे हैं जाति व्यवस्था खत्म होनी चाहिए, तो आप जाति क्यों गिनवा रहे हैं? जाति क्यों गिनवा रहे हैं?
मेरी बात सुनिए, मैं मजबूत कंधे वाले से कहना चाहता हूं कि जातियों के नाम पर जो हजारों साल से दमित है, पीड़ित है, शोषित है, उसके उत्थान का अवसर कब होगा? मजबूत कंधे वाले, अगर ऐसा नहीं होता तो आचार्य नरेंद्र देव जी उच्च श्रेणी के कुलीन पंडित में पैदा होकर के समाजवाद नहीं करते। आचार्य जेवी कृपलानी साहब उसके अनुयायी नहीं होते। आचार्य डॉक्टर लोहिया जी वो भी ऊंचे कुल में पैदा हुए। गरीबों की बात क्यों किए, वंचितों की बात?
जाति गणना ठीक है, जातीय
आपको सुनने का धीरज नहीं है? आप तो पूरी बात सुन लीजिए ना। एक फहरिस्त है, लंबी फहरिस्त। जिसको देश की चिंता है वो सबकी चिंता करेगा, जो सबकी चिंता करेगा 90 को काटेगा नहीं। इसलिए 100 में 90 लोग अगर वंचित आज भी है, आज भी जीतन राम मांझी मुख्यमंत्री, आपको हिम्मत है तो चलाइए, मैं नहीं समझता हूँ आपको हिम्मत है। जीतन राम मांझी मुख्यमंत्री बनकर के मधुबनी के दुर्गा मंदिर में गए पूजा करने, किसने उसको गंगा जल से धोया? वही मेरे जी काटने का फतवा जारी करते हैं।
नहीं, लेकिन आप समाजवाद की बात करते हैं। 35 साल समाजवादियों की सरकार रही, तो क्या आपको नहीं लगता कि समाजवादियों ने उत्थान नहीं किया पिछड़ी जातियों का? अगर उसी का
आप कहना क्या चाहते हैं? आप मनुवाद सीख करके आए हैं, यही हमसे बोलवा चाहते हैं?
मनुवादी
मैं यह कह रहा हूं कि आज के तारीख में 6 साल नहीं हुआ है।
आप 2 तारा की बात कर रहे हैं साहब। आप मनुस्मृति में जाति व्यवस्था के खिलाफ बात कर रहे हैं, फिर जातीय जनगणना करा रहे हैं।
पढ़ कर क्या है? आप भी जी काटने वाले लोगों में से हैं। मैंने भी जी काटने वाले लोग पक्का है। आप बात, मेरी बात धीरज है तो बात सुन।
आप सत्ता में आके, सत्ता में रहकर आप, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि कुछ भी बोलकर निकल जाइएगा।
सत्ता में आ रहे हैं तो समानता की बात करने के लिए जातीय जनगणना की जा रही है। जो हजारों साल से काट के रखे गए हैं उनको सम्मान कब मिलेगा? और मजबूत कंधे वाले, आप आगे आओ। अगर देश को बचाना चाहते हो, देश को ताकत बढ़ाना चाहते हो, तो आप निश्चित रूप से ये ज्ञान की भूमि बिहार है, ये दर्शन का काम करेगा।
Now, in fact, Prakash is now joining us right now. Prakash, you know, when you were confronting him, it appeared that the minister was actually trying to somehow say that his remark was not against Hindus. In fact, his remark was against the societal division that we see. However, you know, to your question then, that why is the government then, you know, after conducting a census according to the caste, he didn't really seem to have any answers. And those are dichotomies that perhaps, you know, the RJD finds itself in.
Well, Nupur, he was caught napping and he did not expect this question at all, because yesterday in front of a public gathering in an auditorium, he expressed his views about caste system, and he also expressed the fact that he doesn't put his surname after his original name, Chandrasekhar. He belongs to the Yadav community, he hails from Madhepura, and that's what my question was, that as far as Manu Smriti and Ramcharitmanas is concerned, he is opposing the caste system that is mentioned in the Ramcharitmanas as well as the Manu Smriti. My question was that why is the caste counting is being done in Bihar at the behest of Tejasvi Yadav and Lalu Yadav, and he was caught napping because he had no answers, because they believe in caste system and it is a dichotomy. They portray a wrong picture in front of people, these politicians, and that's what my question was. Then he went on to the backward politics. That's what the politics of both Nitish Kumar and Tejasvi Yadav is to, in order to counter the Kamandal politics of BJP, they are making a narrative of the backward politics, that they want to revisit Mandal Part 2, and that is an effort. But it's a dichotomy, as you rightly pointed out, that he does believe in the caste system, and that is what the caste counting is being done in Bihar. As far as his opposition against Ramcharitmanas and Manu Smriti is concerned, he stands firmly behind his statement, and he says that it divided the society, it divided it created division between the poor and the rich, and that is why he's opposed to Ramcharitmanas and Manu Smriti, and he says that Bhimrao Ambedkar had burnt it, set it ablaze, and he has no problem if the Sadhu sons and the BJP is opposing it.
Obviously, Prakash, you know, these comments are aimed at a particular vote bank for all these political parties. Thank you for the moment, Prakash, for joining us. But let's listen into reactions that we got from the BJP earlier.
देखिए, हमारा दुर्भाग्य रहा आज़ादी के लगातार बाद कुछ ऐसे लोगों को शिक्षा मंत्री बनाया गया, जिन्होंने इस देश का इतिहास बदल दिया। आज उसी को हम भुगत रहे हैं और दुर्भाग्य है कि इस प्रकार के लोग बिहार के शिक्षा मंत्री के रूप में काम कर रहे हैं। उन सरकारों को इसके बारे में सोचना पड़ेगा जो कि नफरत की राजनीति खुद फैलाते हैं। राम हमारे लिए आदर्श हैं, वो एक पिता के रूप में, पुत्र के रूप में, पति के रूप में, भाई के रूप में जिन्होंने अपने सारे किरदार को सामने रखा, वो हमारे लिए प्रेरणा स्रोत है। तो मुझे लगता है कि इस तरह की बातें करना ये जानबूझ करके एक नफरत फैलाने की राजनीति है।
प्रभु श्री राम के खिलाफ इस तरह की भावना भड़काने वाला काम तो आप कर रहे हैं और राजद के लोगों ने यही किया है। पिछले 27 साल में, 32 साल में बिहार में राजद ने सिर्फ जातियों में बांटा, लोगों को धर्मों में बांटा, और आज ये नया नया ज्ञान दे रहे हैं तो नई पीढ़ी के लिए दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है।
All right, so that is the political fight that's taking place in Bihar, even as the education minister made that comment, which was attacked immediately by the BJP. But when Republic TV confronted him, he wasn't really able to explain his remark, given the background of the RJD insisting on a caste census that is currently being done in Bihar. And here's a quick look at what else is making news this morning. In fresh trouble for the Aam Aadmi Party's chief Arvind Kejriwal, the Directorate of Information and Publicity has issued a recovery notice of 164 crore rupees to Arvind Kejriwal and asked him to pay the amount within the next 10 days. After the Directorate of Information and Publicity's recovery notice to the Aam Aadmi Party chief Arvind Kejriwal, the BJP came down heavily on the AAP government, saying that AAP uses taxpayers' money for personal gain.
आप एडवर्टीजमेंट दूसरे राज्यों के अंदर जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट की गाइडलाइंस का खुला उल्लंघन है, आप एडवर्टीजमेंट करते हो अपनी पार्टी का, अपने आप को चमकाने के लिए, लेकिन पैसा जो है वो दिल्ली सरकार दे रही है। जो नोटिस दिया है, मुझे लगता है कि तुरंत से तुरंत आम आदमी पार्टी को ये पैसा दिल्ली की खजाने में जमा कराना चाहिए और देश और दिल्ली से माफी मांगनी चाहिए।
As the situation in Uttarakhand remains grim, the Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami visited Joshimath to closely monitor what's happening. He announced an interim relief for affected families and said that the state government is with the people of Joshimath.
यहाँ पर जिलाधिकारी की अध्यक्षता में कमेटी का गठन किया गया है और वो कमेटी सबसे बात करने के बाद सबकी सहमति से जो अच्छा रास्ता हो सकता है, यहाँ पर बरुणावत पर्वत पर, केदारनाथ आपदा के समय में, अन्य आपदाओं के समय में जो हमने एक मुआवजे का क्राइटेरिया सेट किया हुआ है, एक क्राइटेरिया है उस पर।
After the brutal crackdown on protesting farmers by the Bihar police, Bihar's leader of opposition has condemned the attack, saying that there is complete Gundaraj in Bihar. Karnataka Home Minister, responding to the Bengaluru cooker blast case, has said that Sharik's family members are under the ED's radar. He further said that transactions between Sharik and his family are being investigated. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be visiting Karnataka's Hubballi to participate in the National Youth Festival today. More than 7,500 youth delegates from different parts of the country will be taking part in the festival that's scheduled till the 16th of January. In a fresh development in the Ankita Bhandari case, the court has given the nod for a narco and polygraph test for the main accused Pulkit Arya. Remember, earlier the court had postponed the verdict for 5 days. As the probe into the Delhi hit and run case widens, the Rouse Avenue court will be hearing the accused's bail plea. The court had sent all the accused to judicial custody earlier. The World Health Organization has issued a product alert against 2 cough syrups made by an Indian firm that are potentially linked to the death of 18 children in Uzbekistan. Well, we are going to now be cutting across pictures that we are getting from Srinagar. It appears to be a dramatic avalanche that has been reported near Baltal and Zojila in the Sonmarg area of Ganderbal district. No damage has been reported, but you can see these pictures of this avalanche that seems to have hit the Sonmarg area of Jammu and Kashmir. Now, these are pictures that we are bringing to you from Baltal and Zojila in the Sonmarg area. We're going to try and go across to Zeenath, who has more details on what happened. Zeenath, these pictures do appear very dramatic, but we are told that thankfully there has been no damage reported yet.
Oh yes, there has been no damage reported despite that the avalanche has hit Sonmarg, Balta. This is near Zojila, which is a very important point as far as the connectivity between the Sonmarg and Ladakh is concerned. We're already seeing an alert avalanche warning was issued in the Kashmir Valley. There has been a report from the Met which talks about the high danger avalanches warnings in several areas near the line of control in the Kashmir Valley. Similarly, high danger avalanches warning was issued by the State Disaster Management Authority for the higher reaches of Naugam, Tangdar, and similarly medium danger avalanches warning had been issued for the areas like Sonmarg, Khilanmarg, Banihal, and Zojila and other places. People living in these snowbound areas were requested to exercise extreme caution, especially in the areas where high danger avalanche warning was issued. So this has stuck there in the Zojila track, but as of now we are picking from the sources that no damage has been reported from this very area. It's a strategically very important point as far as the convoy movement on the towards the to and fro from Sonmarg to Baltal, and also from Baltal, or for that matter to Ladakh, like Dras, Kargil, Ladakh is concerned. So this is normally the track that is used by the security forces and the locals if you have to go to the Ladakh, and similarly for this to and fro, this plays a very important part. This strategically, this track is very, very important. But now, last Friday, the PRO has already made it clear with the administration that they are closing the passes because the heavy snowfall was reported in this very part for the last 3 or 4 days. We are seeing the Jammu and Kashmir witnessing heavy precipitation. Higher reaches has received the heavy snowfall, and similarly the plains are receiving the rainfall. But as of now, no damage has been reported as far as this Baltal Zojila pass is concerned.
All right. Thank you very much, Zeenath, for bringing us those details. So as Zeenath is pointing out, thankfully no damage has been reported, but those dramatic pictures coming in of avalanche that has been reported in the Baltal area of Jammu and Kashmir. And now moving on to Joshimath. Now new cracks are appearing in buildings over there after there was overnight rainfall, and the forecast, of course, for Joshimath continues to be of more rainfall. Now this even as the government is still trying to convince people who are living in the area that the demolition of certain properties is absolutely essential because these are unstable structures and need to be demolished because the land underneath them is beginning to give way. Now, we are told that even as the cracks are now being reported from various other areas of Joshimath, the NDRF as well as other teams are on standby. In fact, the Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami was in Joshimath. He stayed there last night, and Republic TV has managed to have a conversation with the Chief Minister, who has assured all residents that the situation will be brought under control soon. Let's listen in. On your screen, of course, are off a wide-angle shot that we are getting of Joshimath. Now, do remember that there are about 4 zones in Joshimath which have actually been declared as unstable. Now, this is a cause of concern, and we are given to understand that the government wants to go ahead and at least start beginning to dismantle some of these buildings so that the impact on houses as well as buildings that are below these can be minimized. But residents are continuing to protest, asking for more monetary compensation before their homes and hotels are taken down. Let's listen into what the Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami told Republic TV.
पूरी ब्राह्मणों के द्वारा संपूर्ण विधि विधान से यहाँ पर जो पूजा की गई और हम सब लोगों ने जो प्रार्थना की है, भगवान नरसिंह जी हमारे ऊपर कृपा करेंगे, हमारे जोशीमठ साहब पर कृपा करेंगे और जो ये आपदा आई है, ये आपदा ठीक हो जाएगी, शांत हो जाएगी और सभी को विश्वास करना चाहिए कि हमारा जोशीमठ शहर बचेगा। पूरे उत्तराखंड के अंदर जो जगह जगह तमाम प्रकार से इस प्रकार की बातें आई हैं कि पूरा उत्तराखंड खतरे में है, जोशीमठ शहर खतरे में है, भगवान नरसिंह जी की कृपा से हम इस सब से उभरेंगे। मैं सबको विश्वास दिलाता हूँ। भगवान
राहत पैकेज बढ़ेगा सर, राहत पैकेज बढ़ाएंगे आप लोग कैबिनेट की बैठक में?
हाँ, उस पर हम लोग पहले ही कह चुके हैं कि चूंकि आपदा आई है, आपदा आना एक प्राकृतिक आपदा है और किसी एक कारण से आपदा नहीं आई है जी, और उस पर भी बात चल रही है, लेकिन आगे हम प्लानिंग के साथ पूरे विधिवत तरीके से जो सबसे अच्छा पैकेज हो सकता है, जो सबसे अच्छा रास्ता हो सकता है, उस रास्ते को हम लोग अख्तियार करेंगे, यहाँ के लोगों की सहायता करेंगे। इस समय में हम हर तरीके से जोशीमठ के लोगों के साथ खड़े हैं, पूरी सरकार खड़ी है, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी का भी हम सबको पूरा हर तरीके से सहयोग का उन्होंने भरोसा दिया है और सारी टीमें यहाँ पर लगी हुई हैं, वो अपना आकलन कर रही हैं। एनडीएमए की टीम भी यहाँ पर काम कर रही है, अनेकों जो हमारे वैज्ञानिक हैं वह भी काम कर रहे हैं। उसके आधार पर जल्दी सबका आकलन करके जल्दी यहाँ के लोगों को
बुलाया मिलने के लिए, बुलाया सर, लोगों को बुलाया मिलने के लिए सर।
लगातार आज हमारी विभिन्न समूहों के साथ आज दिन में अनेक बैठकें होने वाली हैं। उन बैठकों में भी जो कल से लेकर मैं यहाँ पर हूँ, जो भी हमने यहाँ पर देखा है उन सभी को आगे ठीक से क्रियान्वित करें, ठीक से लोगों को सहायता करें, उस पर काम करें।
सर टैक्स देखने को मिले उसके
हाँ, वो पहले से ही है, उस पर हम लोग काम कर रहे हैं।
काम चल रहा है सर अभी भी।
देखिए अभी
जो काम चल रहा है सर, आपके सब आदेश के बाद
अभी सभी चीजों का हम लोग में जो भी देखा है, जो आप लोगों के माध्यम से अन्य माध्यमों से हमें प्राप्त हुआ है, उन सभी के लिए ही आज बैठक बुलाई है।
You are watching Republic TV. On the other side, the Bihar Education Minister insults Hindus, says Ramcharitmanas spreads hatred. And big controversy breaks out over the Bihar Education Minister's Hindu insult. We get you details.
After West Bengal, now Andhra Pradesh, Vande Bharat Express attacked in Visakhapatnam.
ब्रह्म जाति में नीति के लोग विद्या पा करके जहरीला हो जाते हैं, कैसा? जैसा कि दूध पीने के बाद साफ हो जाता है।
Bihar Education Minister insults Hindus, says Ramcharitmanas spreads hatred. Big controversy breaks out over Bihar Education Minister's Hindu insult. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's mega visit to Polban, Karnataka, Prime Minister to inaugurate key events. Delhi hit and run case in court today to hear accused's bail plea.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर, एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान। जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं।
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए। प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान। उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा, बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त। मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है।
And here's a look at what else is making news this morning. In an interview to the RSS mouthpiece organizer and the Panchjanya, Mohan Bhagwat has said that Muslims have nothing to fear in India, but they must abandon their boisterous rhetoric of supremacy. While responding to Bhagwat's interview, the AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi said that Bhagwat must not preach, and it is Bhagwat who is furthering the Hindu supremacist narrative.
हिटलर को भी बड़ा अपना यकीन था अपनी आर्यन रेस सुपरमेसी का, और इसीलिए आप देखते हैं कि आरएसएस जो है शुरू से इस बात का डिमांड कर रही है कि भारत में जो फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर है इस कंट्री का उसको खत्म कर दिया जाए।
The former Minority Affairs Minister and senior BJP leader Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi has hailed the RSS.
Thanks for staying tuned to Republic. We start with the latest we are learning from Joshimath, where the situation remains worrisome after the rains that were reported last night. In fact, latest reports coming in that fresh cracks have been seen in houses where there was no cracks earlier. Latest information that is just coming in that the meeting has begun of Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami with the officials in Joshimath. So the Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami, who's there in Joshimath taking stock of the latest situation. Remember a 45 crore rupees package that has already been announced as a rehabilitation package for the families of those affected in Joshimath. So the key meet that has begun over Joshimath being chaired by the Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami. We'll go across to Anuj as well, who's getting us those reports and the latest from Joshimath. But the visuals there, that is exactly the scenes, in fact, situation in Joshimath right now, where you can see how there are cracks that have developed in those houses. All of these houses that have been evacuated as we speak. Not just this, on the left side you see that's the drone footage of the houses that have been evacuated in Joshimath. Remember, over 700 families have been evacuated so far in Joshimath, and several of those families who've been left without a shelter, of course, they've been shifted to temporary relief shelters for now, but what they're looking for is adequate compensation and permanent shelters by the state government. A reaction that is coming in from the state chief minister. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
पूरी ब्राह्मणों के द्वारा संपूर्ण विधि विधान से यहाँ पर जो पूजा की गई और हम सब लोगों ने जो प्रार्थना की है, भगवान नरसिंह जी हमारे ऊपर कृपा करेंगे, हमारे जोशीमठ शहर पर कृपा करेंगे, और जो ये आपदा आई है ये आपदा ठीक हो जाएगी, शांत हो जाएगी।
Most of these advanced economies are slowing down. Clearly, in the 21st century, global growth will come from countries of the South. I think that if we work together, we can set the global agenda. In the upcoming sessions, today and tomorrow, we will further amplify and develop the valuable ideas which have emerged from our discussions today. Our effort will be to distill action points for the global South, both for what we can do together and for what we can seek together on the global agenda. The voice of the global South needs to set its own tone. Together, we need to escape the cycle of dependency on systems and circumstances which are not of our making. I thank you once again for your time, presence and valuable remarks. Thank you. Dhanyavad ji.
So Prime Minister's address there by video conferencing at the Global South Summit, as it is happening. The Prime Minister said that the world is in a state of crisis and instability. In fact, let's cut across to that press conference, important press conference taking place as of now.
Issues that were on the table, and we are continuing to talk both at the diplomatic as well as the military level. In terms of our preparedness levels, they remain of a very high standard. We have adequate forces, we have adequate reserves in each of our sectors to be able to effectively deal with any situation or contingency. You are also aware of the strategic reorientation or the rebalancing that we undertook some time back. I must mention that it is complete in every respect. As far as the situation in the Jammu and Kashmir is concerned, I think the ceasefire understanding which came about in February of 2021, that is holding well. The cross-border support to terrorism and the terrorist infrastructure, however, remains. In the hinterland itself, we have seen some of the proxy tanzeems which have been indulging in activities or acts purely with a view to gain visibility and remain in the news. But what is heartening is the reduction or marked reduction in violence parameters and the fact that the people of the state are partnering with the government in number of development initiatives. All this notwithstanding, we need to remain alert both on the line of control insofar as infiltration goes as well as in the hinterland. In the northeast, the peace has returned in most of the states, and you are also aware of the denotification of disturbed areas in Assam, in Manipur and Nagaland. The economic activity and the development initiatives have yielded good results, and overall the dividends of the peace return of peace are clearly evident. This Army Day is also special in the sense that this is also the 75th year of our independence. So besides the Indian Army carrying out its primary mandate and role, we are also fully aligned to the national vision for the future and committed to achieve the national goals and objectives that have been set out. We have decided to undertake transformation of the Indian Army, and that essentially spans across 5 key domains, starting from force restructuring and optimization, modernization and technology infusion. Then you have the human resource management philosophy or Agnipath, which came about sometime middle of last year. We are also looking at greater emphasis, stress and better outcomes in terms of jointness as integration. And lastly, we are also looking at refining and improving our systems and processes in order to enhance the operational, administrative as well as the logistic efficiencies. We've also decided that this year or 2023 will be the year of transformation, wherein we have laid out a specific roadmap for the outcomes that we intend achieving. And of course, this process will continue beyond the current year. And in this regard, I would just highlight a few initiatives that we have taken. In relation to the Agnipath scheme, there are two key aspects that we are looking at. First is we have launched the Army software for Agnipath automation at networking, or ASAN, which is a integrated software right from the Agniveer time that he gets recruited till the time he joins the recruiting centers, during his period at the recruiting center, and subsequently while he's or an Agniveer is serving in a unit, till the time he exits at the end of 4 years or is retained in service. So this entire gamut of his management, his performance assessment, a selection process for retention, all that has been encapsulated in this ASAN software, which I am happy to announce. When the training of the first batch commenced on 1st January, we have started using this software. We also have aligned to the project of digitization and automation, launched another software called the Indra. Now this is the Indian Army Data Repository and Access System, wherein, and most of you are aware, we have different regiments, and within infantry we have different regimental centers. So in this software we will have all these centers or the record offices coming on board. So you have a central data repository of all our soldiers, officers and JCOs available at in a single window, which will essentially help us for better HR management and decision making. Now this again has been launched about a month back and is working well. A third software which we have launched is called Dhanvantri, and it relates to the medical data of all our personnel, essentially linking all the military hospitals. We have close to 150 of them spread pan-India. So again, here you will have a single window or a single database wherein all the medical data will be available, and this will again facilitate planning, management of patients, pharmacy, etc. In terms of the human resource management, couple of things I would want to mention. And first is commissioning of women officers in the regiment of artillery. Now this is something which we have decided we must do.
Step into luxury, where grace blends with grandeur and design blends with innovation. As your stress is washed away and you're transported in the lap of luxury. Cure European bath lounges. Let time wait.
ये कहानी 1947 में जाती है सर। एक नया मुल्क बनता है पाकिस्तान। जो ऑफिसर्स हैं इंडियन आर्मी में, उनको ये बोला जाता है कि आप चूज करें आप कहां पे जाना चाहते हैं।
मेरे पिताजी जनरल सैयद मेहदी हसनैन उस वक्त कैप्टन जब आर्मी के अंदर आए थे तो फर्स्ट गढ़वाल राइफल्स में आए। प्योर हिंदू सोल्जर्स कम्युनिटी जो थी पूरी, उसमें एक अकेला मुसलमान। उनके कमांडिंग ऑफिसर ने उनसे पूछा बंटवारे के अंदर आप क्या चाहेंगे, किसी मुस्लिम यूनिट के साथ, मुस्लिम रेजिमेंट के साथ पाकिस्तान आर्मी में जाने की? जवाब जो था बहुत जबरदस्त। मैंने सोच लिया मैं उस देश में जाऊंगा, मैं उस फौज में जाऊंगा जिसमें मजहब के लिए कोई अलग जगह नहीं है।
And here's a look at what else is making news this morning. In an interview to the RSS mouthpiece organizer and the Panchjanya, Mohan Bhagwat has said that Muslims have nothing to fear in India, but they must abandon their boisterous rhetoric of supremacy. While responding to Bhagwat's interview, the AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi said that Bhagwat must not preach, and it is Bhagwat who is furthering the Hindu supremacist narrative.
हिटलर को भी बड़ा अपना यकीन था अपनी आर्यन रेस सुपरमेसी का, और इसीलिए आप देखते हैं कि आरएसएस जो है शुरू से इस बात का डिमांड कर रही है कि भारत में जो फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर है इस कंट्री का उसको खत्म कर दिया जाए.
The former Minority Affairs Minister and senior BJP leader Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi has hailed the RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat's remarks on Muslims and said the spirit of partnership and not the battle to dominate leads to the path of development.
इस देश में आप दुनिया में रहने वाले 10 मुसलमानों में से एक मुसलमान हिंदुस्तान में रहता है. उसके सामाजिक, आर्थिक, शैक्षणिक, धार्मिक अधिकार पूरी तरह से महफूज भी हैं और मजबूत भी हैं, सुरक्षित भी हैं और सिक्योर्ड भी हैं. लेकिन वो दिक्कत मुसलमानों की नहीं है, दिक्कत
in their respective areas of responsibility. So we are looking at about 450 such water bodies getting created by August of 2023. And the last is our partnership or our contribution to the Vidyanjali scheme, wherein close to 150 of our army public schools will partner or adopt a government school or a government aided school, and in this partnership we will be sharing our resources in terms of infrastructure, sports infrastructure, academic infrastructure, our instructors and number of other facilities. So these were some of the initiatives I thought I must mention here. So I mentioned, besides our primary role of safeguarding the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the nation, we are fully cognizant of our role in other spheres as well as nation building, so as to support and contribute towards the national goals and objectives. And in all this, I think the media has an important role, because in this endeavor we believe that we need convergence of ideas, convergence of strategies and convergence of resources, so as to be able to meet the aspirations of our people. I'll stop here as my initial comments, and now I'll be open to any questions that you may have.
Thank you, sir. We will now commence the interactive session. In order to give maximum opportunities, because there are a large number of you, what we will do is we will take 3 questions at a time.
Step into luxury, where grace blends with grandeur and design blends with innovation. As your stress is washed away and you're transported in the lap of luxury, Cure European bath lounges. Let time wait.
And here's a look at what else is making news this morning. In an interview to the RSS mouthpiece organizer and the Panchjanya, Mohan Bhagwat has said that Muslims have nothing to fear in India, but they must abandon their boisterous rhetoric of supremacy. While responding to Bhagwat's interview, the AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi said that Bhagwat must not preach, and it is Bhagwat who is furthering the Hindu supremacist narrative.